Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning, everybody! Yes, ring the bell, mother fathers. Ring the bell. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, brought to you by Rite Aid. You know it, RiteAid.com for all your favorite goods, all of your meds, scripts, whatever you need health-wise. Rite Aid is your place. Well, let's go down to it. There are moments in a season that can encapsulate or define a season and define a team and how special something is. Well, it happened last night as the Phillies game 2 of this great series, the heavyweight bout between the two best teams in the National League, Phillies and Dodgers. Phillies take the first game in a rout. Last night, pretty close. Timely hitting, no Bryce because of the hand. Timely hitting puts the Phillies up 4-2. It's the 7th inning. Dodgers, runners on the corners. In comes the Stromboli. That's right. In comes all-star Matt Strahm. And it was just perfect setting, right? Ohtani is at the plate. Here comes Shohei. He's looking at, right? They're up 4-2. Runners on the corners, 1 out. And he's got to face Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez, who is almost as dangerous as Shohei. And there it was. First 2 pitches, strikes. Strike 1, strike 2. And then after a ball, here it is. Strahm uncorks an incredible breaking ball, 83-mile-an-hour slider. And Shohei almost loses his helmet as he waves at the pitch. The crowd roaring, 40,000 on their feet. It feels like October despite the searing heat. And Strahm strikes out Ohtani, basically game on the line. And now it's 2 outs. And he's able to go get Hernandez on a fly out to right and escape that inning. That was the big inning. Now, Dodgers make it 4-3. Big play in the field, too, because you're able to cut down the runner at second to kill it, kind of extinguish the rally. And the bullpen does its job. Hoffman comes in with the save. And you had Alvarado, Hoffman, and, of course, Strahm. Phillies pen look just great last night. It was a perfect evening. You have Schwarber leading off the game, yet another home run. It's so funny. We were just talking about Schwarber and leadoff hitter and all thing, and there he is once again. He delivers a first inning blow. And look, I get it. I get where they're coming from when it comes to having Schwarber lead off like that. Just in the fact that 1-0 vibe is a big deal. Like when you strike first, especially when you're looking at that kind of matchup where it's, 2 heavyweight bouts and it feels like October and it feels like, hey, whoever strikes first has that kind of advantage. And it felt like it last night, right? The Phillies are up 2-0. Dodgers claw back to tie it. And then the Phillies strike again. I mean, just a great atmosphere. Crowd, you'll hear the crowd a little bit later on and what the vibe was like down there. I mean, it's truly amazing. Everybody talks about it. But let's talk about Strahm for a second. We love him, the way he looks, the whole thing, such a character. He has been so valuable. And it goes back to bullpens, as great as the rotation's been and the offense, you need all 3 to work to have a chance to win. Go back to 2008. One of the reasons why the Phillies win the World Series in 2008 is they had such a great pen, right? I mean, we know about Mr. Perfect, Brad Lidge as the closer. But you had Matson, who was terrific in that spot. You had a couple of really good lefties. You had Chad Durbin, right, who would kind of come in, give you a 6th, 7th inning. You had you were able to kind of mix and match, and the bullpen was terrific. You've seen that before. I remember when Kansas City got there. all about their bullpen. So the fact is, would I like another piece? Yes. Just to bolster. It's so valuable when you have a bullpen. But the great thing of what Strahm has done is that he gives you that lockdown lefty, man. Having a lefty that's not just a situational lefty that comes in and has to face, you're worried about him exposed for 3 batters because you see 2 lefties there. Having Strahm in that spot is such a great weapon. What a weapon he has become. And it's a great story, man. Like, look, Hoffman and Strahm going to the All-Star game, 7 Phillies in the All-Star game. And this magical summer continues. They are now 60-32. 60 wins. That's incredible. The only other time they got to 60 quicker was in 76 when they started at 60-28. Chris Sanchez, again, is good, right? Like, go figure. A 4th starter. And Christopher Sanchez, all right, a 1 at home, 66 innings. He's got a 1.5 ERA at home. That's unbelievable. And again, you're going up against that Dodger team, even without Mookie Betts, just dangerous. And he pitched really well. Again, Phils take the first 2 games of the series. They're going to win the series. They go for the sweep tonight, 6 o'clock. It's Nola against Knack. And it's Phillies time, man. We're going to talk a ton of Phillies today. We're also going to get into some Sixers. Kate Scott will join us coming up around 10 o'clock. Kyle Neubeck, who's in Las Vegas covering Team USA basketball. Kyle will join us to talk about Team USA and, of course, all the Sixer stuff. So we got a good basketball piece coming to you coming up in an hour. But it's a Phillies time. That's popping off. Brought to you by Olipop, our favorite soda that's also good for you. Find it at Wawa. We all get everything at Wawa, so we love it. And we can find our Olipop there as well. Good morning to our people. JP, John Zapata.
Buenos dias.
VG, Violations Greg.
Yep.
Before I go any further, congratulations. Hey. JP, of course, is a proud Colombian. And
Great
Colombia advances to the final in the Copa tournament. Big win over Uruguay. And tough one, too, because you got the red card at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
And had to survive with a man down and really dominated. Like, they dominated. Your squad dominated top to bottom.
Great defensive masterpiece by the whole team. It was so emotional yesterday. And like you mentioned, like that was just a terrible decision by Daniel Munoz with just an absolute boneheaded move. You just don't do that, and especially in a semifinal game. But great defensive play. They just were not anything Uruguay was throwing at them. Colombia was just throwing out. Andrew's boy, Darwin Nunez, was so tough to stop. But at the end, it was well-deserved for Colombia. Long time coming. Super emotional for everyone. The captain, James Rodriguez, was ready to cry because he's been waiting for this for 13 years. Man. It was truly special. Truly special night.
Well, we
appreciate it.
We love you. So we all rooted Colombia for you.
Yeah.
You know, we have a group chat.
Yeah.
And in the group chat, everybody's like, hey, JP, it's great.
It was emotional for sure.
Now, you were at the game last night, Greg. It was this atmosphere. It's through the whole summer. It's exhilarating. And that was just great baseball, man. It's 2 heavyweight teams, a 4-3 game, right? Like at that moment in the 7th inning when Strahm comes in to face Ohtani and Teo Hernandez with the runners on the corners, tying runs on base, and he comes in, stringy-haired Stromboli comes in, and it's just a weapon, dude.
Dude, that's a moment. I mean, I hope Strahm gets to play in the All-Star game. That's a moment they're going to show on video when he comes in, because the country doesn't know who Matt Strahm is.
Yeah,
and they're going to hype him up and be like, here he is taking care of Ohtani in a clutch situation. It was playoff atmosphere. It was rowdy getting into the ballpark. Everyone was fired up. Everyone stayed till the last pitch except Versace. He left with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Versace.
He had to get to his car. But yeah,
why do you tell me these things?
It's a playoff in July. It's just fantastic.
I mean, that's a fireable offense.
Were you not excited for Versace? It was a big game.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk. He's not allowed to be spoken to after that.
Man, you take away from that the last 2 games. That Ohtani guy stinks. He's so overrated. He can't. Here's the fact. He's not ready for Philadelphia. He is not ready. I don't care what games he played in Japan.
Easy.
He's not ready.
He's a kid.
Wait till there's 47,000 drunk Rabbit fans in October at this ballpark. Get out of here.
Well, the way he backed him off on that slider, 83-mile-an-hour slider, and Ohtani almost loses his helmet. He was completely full, lunging at it and almost loses his helmet.
Did you see the sign from the kid? It was like the sign was Mookie Betts, Ohtani gambles.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yes.
That's very good.
It's that fan base, man.
Yeah, we are special.
We get in your head.
I will, and I agree with it. I do think this is a really important series for that fact.
Yeah,
home field is a big deal because of Citizens Bank Park. It's unlike any other ballpark in baseball, in MLB. There's nothing like it. I talked to a lot because I covered the sport for a long time from a national standpoint, and I talked to a lot of people about they still are wow. They're completely agog at what the atmosphere at Citizens Bank Park is.
Yeah, and it's easy to plan for it, but once you're in that moment, you see that crowd. It's hard to kind of compete in that situation.
They looked right into the teeth of that lineup, man. And Teoscar, he's Toronto. He hasn't played in these kinds of environments. They don't know what they're getting into.
I think it's more Strahm than I think. And by the way, it did get dicey at the end because Will Smith comes in and he misses, and the intern misses. I can't even call him by his name or his nickname. The intern misses that moment. Will Smith gave that thing a ride.
That was right in front of me. My tickets are down the right field line.
Did you go gasp?
For a second, but then you see the angle that Castellanos was taken at the ballpark, and it's like, all right, he's got this.
Yeah. Right off the bat, because when you're watching on television, right, you see something off the bat.
Yeah.
And for that split second off the bat, I went, oh no.
Yeah. Suddenly, I'm like in geometry class. I got the protractor out. I look at the angle, I'm looking at the wall, I'm looking at the angle, I'm looking at the wall. It's like, all right, Nick's got it.
Yeah. Because he put it, he tattooed that thing.
Never a doubt.
Yeah. It was. This team, you keep going back to it. Sanchez again is unreal.
Yeah, unreal. This is the Dodgers.
Should have kept him in the seventh, though. I'm just say that because he went 1, 2, 3 in the sixth inning. Just put him out there in the seventh. 91 pitches.
Listen, I hear you, and I would have done the same thing, but that's not.
You got Alvarado, though.
That's not.
I get it.
That's not how they do it.
Something they calculate something like no, let's pull Sanchez out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how many times through the lineup, where you're kind of looking at, knowing that you want this game. You got a rested bullpen. That was the key with the blowout, right? The off day, then the blowout. You got everybody available.
Yeah.
So, why not just come at them with your horses? I mean, and I have no problem.
And if you put Sanchez out in the seventh, you probably wouldn't have gotten that great performance by the Stromboli.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Strong nickname, by the way, cuz
that's what he is. I mean,
Stromboli.
He's such a weapon out there. And we remember I brought up 08 as you look at modern day with starters not going deep like they used to go. And if you look at modern day, the pen is just so important. It's
especially
everything.
in the playoffs. But you can't. You get your 6 out of Sanchez, you're lucky.
You got to feel good. Yeah, I agree.
Get your
you don't want to be greedy. You got
exactly
your fourth starter is pitching like a number 2.
Yeah.
Right? He's giving you. We always talk about that. That 6th inning, give me that quality start, which is he's giving you kind of more than quality. I mean, at home, across 66 innings, that's a good body of work.
Yeah.
He's got a 1.5 ERA.
Well, yeah. Well, hopped up on that Sanchez. I would love to know what Dumbo sees in bullpen arms because he does such a great job of just finding these arms out of nowhere. Strahm comes from Boston, had like a 3.63 ERA. Comes here, you see the 1.5 ERA. It's insane how he just plucks these bullpen pieces up from the league.
Well, one of the things because we made a joke. This is the end of Clentak.
Oh, man.
If you remember what the bullpen looked like, right?
Historically
terrible. There was a guy, Cole Irvin, who actually has carved out a career for himself. but he's not going to break a pane of glass, right? Like a pane of glass. That's what he's not doing.
Yeah.
But they had nobody that really threw hard. You had no one that could come in, and now you look at what Dombrowski has done in transforming the pen. And you're right, JP. The mark of a really good GMing is to be able to assemble a bullpen. And he turned over this pen, all right? In fact, the one guy he only missed on, who I thought, and I love the move, was Soto, right?
Yeah.
I love that move. Like, I was excited for Soto.
Absolutely.
Because he's got a great arm. But that's the I think the mastery of Dombrowski is he has arm talent. Up and down that pen, he's got arm talent. I mean, you got lefties that can throw, right? You got a good, and Hoffman is another one who has just been terrific.
Who?
That's a great
who
story.
Is he? Where'd he come from?
Yeah, literally.
I mean, it's something about I think it's like the old heads, like Gillick. They're savvy with the bullpen. They're not over infatuated with the numbers. They just have a feel.
I don't think you can
for
look,
these guys.
Well, I'll ask you and see what your opinion is, but
So I'm curious about.
I don't think you can look at bullpen by numbers, right? And even career. I think you got to judge a lot with your eyes and judge a lot with arm talent, right? Now, obviously, location is a big deal, right, when it comes to it. But I think you got to look at it a lot with, what the arm talent is. And I think that's where Dombrowski, you mentioned Gillick,
they're real savvy.
Yeah. Well, you remember J.C. Romero?
Yeah.
Like, he was he was kind of what Strahm is, right? They also had, who was the left, Real Cormier, who was more of a situational, come in to face one lefty.
Yeah.
And that was before the 3-batter rule. And then J.C. Romero would come in and give you the 7th inning. And Matson was the bridge to Lidge. And you look at this, he's got, basically 4 arms that, he feels are pretty interchangeable with Strahm, Alvarado, Hoffman, Sir Anthony. Like, you're able to come in and kind of mix and match a little bit.
Yep. And hey, Soto, I'm looking at his stats because he seems like he's playing better. Last 28 games, he's got an ERA of .82. How many innings? Where is it? He's in 11 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts. So he's been good the last month.
He's got a great arm.
Yeah.
I mean, he just, he's got great stuff. That's the one thing about him is that he cranks it up.
Yeah, one more point about Dumbo is he's always trying to add to that bullpen arsenal as well. Like every single offseason, he's finding these arms, continue adding. That's what you got to do as a good team.
I think bullpens, if you're going to make the example, the analogy is a lot like special teams, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because, and it varies year to year. Yeah. I mean, for some reason, you'll see relievers, unless they're elite, they'll have, 2 good years and maybe a slide and then bring them back. And so much is, I always think so much is situational.
Yeah.
Right? Like how you're using them, what it looks like. And this pen has just been, what a weapon. Like to have the rotation. And the big thing about the rotation is that you're not taxing the pen.
Yeah.
The other thing you look at is that they're coming in rested. Like they're not overworked because of this rotation and what the rotation is getting. Guys are giving you 6 and 7 innings on the reg.
On the reg. Yeah. I mean, when is the last time, knock on wood, that there was like a 4-inning outing from a starter? I mean, it's been a while.
Right. I mean, you had the Wheeler the other night. It was a blowout game, and he had the back stiffness. Yeah. So he gave you, 5?
Yeah.
But you didn't have to, because you were up big, you didn't have to use, your bigger horses. Soto pitched the other day in that spot.
Yeah.
Like that's, you could do that. And I think that rotation really works hand in hand with your bullpen. It's awesome. Like the fact that we can dive deep into the Phillies and deep into baseball is a gift.
We geek out, cuz.
I think this pitching coaching staff is really underrated.
Yeah. Doing a great job, man.
Alex Coffey, I give a yo to her. She did a great piece earlier this week. That's what the Soto stats came to my mind, where I guess at the end of April, Soto sat down with the pitching coaches and they realized he wasn't getting a consistent break on his slider, so they had him throw the slider down when he faces certain hitters, and he's had a tremendous effect with that for the last month and a half.
It is interesting, like the science of it.
Yeah.
Like your arm angle, versus like who you're facing, which pitch you're throwing. Do you drop it? Are you more straight up with it? It's I love it.
And how just those little tweaks have such a difference.
Oh yeah,
That's what makes the sport fun, honestly. Like those little nuances.
It's great about it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a bunch of stuff to do today, so stick with us. Let me tell you about Dr. Andy Cohen. And yes, it's sleephealthypa.com. Dr. Andy, in his quest to stop the snore all across the Delaware Valley, Dr. Andy's in the bedrooms. All right? He's in your bedroom trying to stop you from snoring for a number of reasons. One, it'll help you save your relationship with your girlfriend or your wife. But really importantly, most importantly, is your health. Because when you think about sleep apnea, and imagine a garden hose that's got a knot in it, right? Like the air is not getting through, and you're not being able to achieve that REM sleep, which is so, so vital to your health. Your body regenerates while you sleep, right? It heals itself, and you're not getting into that, and it causes long-term damage, not to mention the lack of oxygen in your blood. It's just so bad for you, and you feel horrible. You don't wake up refreshed, right? You wake up, you're pounding coffee, your hormones are all off. It just does a number on your health. That's why you got to check out sleephealthypa.com. Dr. Andy will tell you to ditch that CPAP. He's got dental appliances that will help open your airways, all right? And it's so important. Check it out, sleephealthypa.com. Dr. Andy, tell him we sent you here at PHLY.
All right, guys. Well, after you sleep, you're going to wake up, right? And you're going to wake up to this weather that we have going on. It's nice, right? But that sun, it's glaring, guys. It's strong these days. And so I want to make sure that you guys are keeping your eyeballs protected while you're styling with our friends over at Shady Rays. And you guys always hear me talking about it. I am an absolute sunglass nut. And I love Shady Rays because, listen, the difference between Shady Rays and some of the other sunglass companies is that you're not going to break the bank with these sunglasses, but you're still getting some quality, and that's important, especially in this day and age where we're trying to save some money but look good. That's where Shady Rays is going to help us out here. And the difference with Shady Rays, some of these other companies, besides the price, is that, look, we've all been there, right? You happen to lose, break your sunglasses, whatever it may be. Well, if it's another company, there's $300, $400, $500 going down the drain. But with Shady Rays, they will replace it for you. Guys, nobody's doing that. Shady Rays is, and that's why I recommend it. But don't take it from me. Take it from over 300,000 people who have rated Shady Rays 5 stars or more because they believe Shady Rays is a great product. And as always, guys, we have you hooked up with that promo code. So right now, guys, go get your pair of Shady Rays here today at shadyrays.com. Insert the code PHLY. This will get you 35% off of your polarized sunglasses. So get started here today. We have a great series tonight ending here with the Dodgers. Got a great series with the A's. You're going to want to be outside, or maybe you want to go down to the pool or the beach. Make sure you guys are protecting those eyeballs with our friends over at Shady Rays and use that promo code, cuz.
JP, thanks, buddy. Big story brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out the credit union difference with TrueMark.com, TrueMark Financial. Big story is, of course, the Phillies tonight. Go for the sweep. It's Nola against Knack. Landon Knack, young hurler for the Dodgers. Got good stuff, good young pitcher, good young prospect against Nola. So Nola can close for the sweep tonight. And, I mean, this is you got the A's for 3, right, over the weekend. One of the worst teams in baseball. Talk about ending the All-Star, go to the All-Star break feeling great about yourself.
I mean, if they can go 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, I mean, God help us, 6 out of 6 going into the All-Star break.
All Nola night.
Insane.
How do you feel about Nola against it? This could be interesting to see Nola against this lineup.
Dude, I feel like Red Auerbach already. Give me a cigar.
Yeah,
man, I'm ready to go.
You brought something up that I think is interesting because I know you're half tongue-in-cheek about the Dodgers and being a little overwhelmed at moments in Citizens Bank Park, right? It is different. Like if you are, look, they're great players and they're great hitters, and it's not going to make a difference in a series, but this crowd does bother you. You can see like over the first 2 games of the series, like if you're the Dodgers, your eyes are pretty wide open. Like, oh,
just
damn.
Just ask Spencer Strider, cuz.
Yeah.
He definitely felt that crowd back.
Yes,
in
he did that Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
coming back from injury, right? And he was so amped up. And remember, the first inning, I think he was KK or whatever, KKK, and then he started, to overthrow. And then little by little, then the Reese moment, which was incredible.
And that's a guy who's typically even keeled, but comes to Citizens Bank Park, forgets about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Dodgers' last away series were the White Sox and the Giants are mediocre right now. So, this is a shock to their system coming in. It is packed down there. Like, can we play video from last night? Do you have that loaded?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I got video of the 9th inning, and it is loud. Everyone's standing, and it's packed. And the weather was brutal. I mean, depending on where your seats were, I was in the sun for the first 3 innings. Horrible. Hydrate. If you're going today, hydrate. Bring some Gatorades down with you, something.
Yeah.
But people are sticking
I
around.
think it's going to be a little bit better today.
Who started? The big boys were struggling last night. You walk around the concourse to get a breeze, and the big boys are looking rough. yeah, sweating it up. It's like, man, these guys need a Gatorade.
Yeah.
Powerade, whatever they got.
It's been pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Try being at a little league baked field.
Yeah.
Every night we're at these little league district games.
You're not sitting on the metal bleachers, are you?
I stand. I can't. I
can't
pace.
do that.
He's too nervous.
I pace. I'm one of these dads. I'm never in the same spot. I'm always by myself.
I love that.
Like I enjoy I love the parents. Like they're great people. But I don't want to talk to anybody. I just need. I like to watch the game. I lean over the fence. Right,
you got was it Leo Mazzone with the energy?
Yeah,
rocking the whole time.
It's so stupid. It's children, right? 11-year-old kids.
That's awesome.
But it's I love it. I love every second of it. All right, this is Citizens Bank Park last night.
This is the last out. It is packed.
I love it.
I don't think I have.
I got chills.
No, seriously, me too.
I get chills. There's something about that place, and again, you feel it for the Eagles, and you go, "Well, all right, like that's 8 or sometimes 9 games.
But it's a
year.
Wednesday night in July, cuz.
It's been like this the whole time, right? There's something just magical about all those people and the togetherness. It's a great lesson that's bigger. It's something that I've always wanted to write about, and it's capturing energy, human energy. And when human energy is collective and on the same wavelength, it's so powerful and it's so positive.
But I'm all in. Like, someone says they're going to pray for me or have their church pray for me for something.
I believe it.
I'm walking down the street with Sciatica. I got this neighbor, Jimmy, sits out on his chair. He's probably in his 80s. He's like, oh, man, you're upset. I'll get my people to pray for you. I'm like, thank God. Like, that is energy sending you to heal. You can't.
I believe in it. Yeah. I do. I believe in that. So I think it's palpable.
Yeah.
And I think it matters. And I do think it provides, there's a goodness that comes from, and it's why sports, when things are going well in this town, it's got an effect, a daily effect in the mood of the people. Mm-hmm. And when they're happy, they're good, right? Like they're welcoming to their neighbor.
I love one of your sayings. You always say that sports builds churches. And like when you look at that type of atmosphere and just all of our sports here in Philadelphia, it doesn't matter what's going on in your personal life. Your girlfriend could have broke up with you. You could be broke. You could lose your job. But sports is the one thing that it takes us to a different world. And we just love it. The way we stand
it's our escape, right? You're right on. It's our escape. And it's something we do together.
Yes.
Like being together is fun. Like nobody wants to be. We're pack animals, human beings, right? Yeah. Like we're supposed to be together.
Yeah,
that's when we get our greatest joy. I don't know about you guys, but like when we do a show or we do whether it's a project, a business, or in our case a show, it's always about the collective. Yes. It's always about it's not about yourself. It's about celebrating with everybody else. That's right. The beauty of it. Always want to do that. Anyway, let me tell you about True Fan Travel. Speaking of the collective, True Fan Travel used to be Philly Sports Trips that you know. Vince and Bob, right? Vince Rizzuto, who has built an incredible company. Now, True Fan Travel, right? And what it is you go with your brethren, all your friends, new friends, and you're going to go around the world, see the world through sports. You want to talk about bucket list. Like, we love sports. There's nothing like being on the road with your Philadelphia sports fans, right? Together, going to Dallas, right? Or going to Brazil. He's got trips to go to Brazil, all the Eagles, New Orleans. I mean, incredible spots. You get to see the country. I've been on many trips with him, and there's so much fun. You have great tailgates, great food. You're staying at really good hotels. The difference is, look, I know we talk about price, and we all have to watch our prices, but you want to stay in a nice place. You want to feel it. Like, when you travel, you want to feel comfortable. And that's the beauty of it. The international stuff is really fun. I highly recommend to go on any of the international stuff to see the world. You know, I got people still telling me about London and the Phillies in London and what that was like, and making friends and seeing another culture and imbibing in it and just having so much fun. And you do it over sports, over stuff you love. And by the way, we all have sports bucket lists, right? Stadiums and arenas that we want to see, events that we want to see. And this is where True Fan Travel comes into play. They have it all covered for you. So go to truefantravel.com and book your next adventure, man. Make new friends and enjoy yourself. This portion of the program brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. We'll have the Brain coming up in shortly, about 10 minutes. Then we're going to have, at top of the hour, Kate Scott will join us, talk some Sixers, and we'll go out to Vegas to visit with Kyle Neubeck. And very excited with the Sixers, very excited with, basketball, USA basketball, Embiid. He's following that along. All of our Sixer guys are out in Vegas doing their thing. Let's talk about the Sixers for a second. Interesting story. Did you guys see this? This is Montrezl Harrell talking about
Sixers great.
This was the time when PG, it's amazing. Doc Rivers is coach of the Clippers, right?
The bubble.
It's against the Nuggets. And Montrezl Harrell is talking about, this is a story in the Players Tribune about Paul George. And he tells the story. He goes, we're basically in the playoffs. Fast forward, in the middle of a game against Denver. We set up a play. Everybody says they're switching 1 through 5. Everybody knows coverage. Then in the game, this situation comes. It's pick and roll with PG, Jamal Murray, Jokic, and me. Screen comes. I yell, switch. We switch it. He still fights over the screen. Jokic slips down the middle of the lane. Boom. Shoots. Gets the bucket. Doc calls a timeout just like that. On the way over to the huddle, I say, bro, that's a switch, P. He's like, no, I thought. And he said, I'm like, bro, ain't no I thought. It's a switch, bro. Everybody in this bleep knows the coverage but you. He was like, hey, who are you talking to?
I don't blame him there.
And he went, all right, with that in mind, I told P right then and there in front of the coaches and everybody, I will knock you to bleep out, bro. You tripping. You was wrong, bro. You wrong. Because I look back on now, I realized I went too far in the heat of the moment. But that was the moment that Montrezl Harrell was going to knock out Paul George.
That's awesome stuff, man.
That's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
These NBA huddles, man, they're always interesting. Remember Jimmy and Udonis Haslam 2 years ago?
But the reason why I bring it up, right, is that in the heat of the moment, this is what you don't have when you're a spectator.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the heat of the moment, you're competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so tempers start to flare. Like you get into a heated moment. You're passionate. You care. Paul George cares about what's going on. Montrezl Harrell cares about, like, what are you doing, dude? That's supposed to be a switch, man. And then when he goes, well, I thought, no, you got to know that. And then they start jawing, and then somebody gets to back up, and I'm not going to bleep out. Like, I completely relate to that.
And Doc's going, come on, guys. Get it together. But it's great because, like, you know, George is a superstar, but when you're in that locker room, you shower with people, and like it's just another dude. It's just your teammate, unless it's like a Jordan or LeBron,
right?
I mean, he's not on that level. So yeah,
well, it's funny. Like you talked about the Jordan, the story that you said the other day.
Kevin Garnett, I saw on a podcast. He said J.R. Reed was having a game against Jordan, against whatever the Bulls, and
J.R. Reed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a timeout, and they were down 2 to the Bulls. And Kevin Garnett grabs J.R. Reed, and there's pictures of him having a headlock. He's like, "You got this, punk. You got him. He can't stop you. They can't stop you tonight. They got you." And Kevin Garnett says, "As I'm saying this, I just see Jordan standing, listening with his hand on his hip, like, all right." And he's like, within 8 minutes, they were down 21. They called timeout, and Kevin Garnett, he's like, "Man, me and J.R. Reed on the bench like this." They're like, slouch back, like, and then Kevin Garnett's like, "I'm sorry I said anything, man. I'm sorry I said anything."
I could just see that. I covered. One of the greatest things ever was covering.
So it's J.R. Ryder, not J.R. Reed. Someone's corrected me.
Yeah. To Minnesota.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things ever was covering Jordan, right? Like, and you know, I'm real young, and I'm just like mouth open watching, and he would have that pose, and like I could just see him nodding.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Ohtani's here, and right, LeBron is incredible. Yeah. Kobe was incredible. You know, we talk about great stars. Mahomes is probably the closest thing to Jordan, but nobody. It's why I like as great as LeBron is, I still go Jordan by a nose only because no one could turn it on like that. Yeah. Nobody could sit back and go, "Oh yeah, all right," and nobody was as fierce a competitor as Jordan. Like it was a personal affront, and there was another level. Like imagine, you know, that there is another gear, another level that you can take your game to.
Yeah. I just loved his personality. Like he would always, like, obviously, like we all make the joke from the Last Dance. Like he would take things personally, but that would drive him. That's what made him so great. You're gonna doubt him? All right. Well, he's gonna prove to you he's gonna go out and win. And I think that's so important, not only for sports but for in life in general. You should take that
like
mentality.
A psycho. He would just be like, "Oh, they looked at me the wrong way." He was looking for anything to just want to assassinate you.
He just wanted to win, man.
Yeah, I and to be able to elevate even like you're the best player on the floor, and now there's another level that you can elevate to. That's something you go, wow, like are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How does that? And that's and I think that's the only difference. Like LeBron, what a great career. And by the way, you and I were having this conversation yesterday. So I do want to talk about it. All the nepotism charges against LeBron because of Bronny. I don't understand it. LeBron James, and again, I'm a Jordan guy, right? Mm-hmm. LeBron has every right to have his son have a spot. I mean, like he's earned the right to say, I want to try to play with my son. You draft my son. I have no issue whatsoever. In fact, I would do the same thing. I appreciate it. First of all, you're always going to do what's right for your family. For sure. I don't care. And if you've achieved, LeBron James was not, he's self-made in every way. Yeah. And by the way, can you find an athlete who's a better role model as a father? Like the nuclear, we talk about I'm a big believer in the family, right? Like the fact that he is a present dad. Yeah. He is a great dad, present dad. I got no issues with him saying, I need Bronny to be, on this team. Yeah, damn right.
Yeah,
Go for it.
You see it with ownership. You see it with coaches. You see it everywhere. So if a player can do it, and so K-Red, I think, has got a good point. Gordie Howe may have orchestrated something like this towards the end to play with his sons.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got no issues with it.
No, in fact, I applaud it. I'm so far the other way that I applaud it. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
And he's earned that right to be able to do that. And the fact he's freaking great dad, man.
No, I don't blame LeBron. Obviously, listen, obviously I haven't been there yet, but once you have that kid, like you'll do anything for that child. I think for everyone else, it's like, Lakers, what are you doing? We're giving guaranteed contracts to Bronny James, who a lot of people felt was either second round or undrafted free agent type of talent. And then, of course, the Rick Paul stuff where reportedly he was saying like he would, if any team was going to draft Bronny, he was going to send him to Australia. So the LeBron, I completely get why he wanted to play with Bronny. We would want to play with our kid at one point for professional athletes, but it's more the Lakers and Rich Paul. Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, LeBron's got the gravitas. He's earned it. If his and so has Clutch Sports. Let's be honest. Like, they control a lot of the league. If they want to say something, they can say something. Go ahead and cross them if you want, but no one's going to cross them.
Are you cool with an agency though, having so much leeway?
It's not the agency. It's the LeBron.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't he run the agency? Doesn't he run that agency?
Yes, it's LeBron. But the only agency exists because of LeBron.
True.
That's it. Like, Rich Paul is LeBron's friend. Like,
selling like jerseys out of a trunk, right?
Right.
Back in the day.
Listen, like, it's LeBron. Like, I completely disagree with you. Like, it's, again, I don't blame him whatsoever. How you going to play it? Like, hey, yo, guys, don't draft my kid.
Right.
All right?
Right.
My kid's going to come play with me. This is the deal. All right? Everybody knows it. I'm LeBron James. All right? This is the deal. So what?
If you were the GM of the Lakers, would you have drafted Bronny in second?
Yes.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yes. Well, like, what again? What? Like, so the back end of the bench, by the way, is the back end of the bench. In the playoffs, you're only going to play 7-8 guys anyway. What's the problem? Like, what do you got? Like, seriously, why are you against it?
So, like, again, I understand why LeBron did it, but as in basketball sense, I don't understand why you wouldn't try to get a player that could at least try to crack in the roster this year, eventually down the line, because we all see every now and then second rounders can help out a team later on down the line. They become an NBA player.
I mean,
that hit rate is pretty slim.
And also,
I mean, you're better off going to Colorado and hunting for gold.
But the other thing, too, is that now because there's a target on Bronny, everyone's going to be wanting to take a shot at Bronny.
So
and
what?
we'll see how he can take that mentally.
Well, so what?
We'll see.
I mean, it's all part of it. What was that? Like, again, and in the end, you can take all the shots you want. Like, my last name's James. Like, what are you worried about?
I mean, Bronny's probably got a year in the league after LeBron leaves, and that's it. No one even remember.
Who knows? Maybe he turns into a player. Probably not, but it is what it is. No, seriously, it's the end of a bench. Like, and if you're the GM, you in that league, you work for LeBron.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's what it's about.
Can we? What are your thoughts on Embiid? You see his stat line yesterday,
dude.
I can't wait to talk to Kyle about that.
12 minutes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's that about?
It's preseason for Olympics.
I mean, that's pretty 5 fouls in 12 minutes.
I know. I mean, it's a different game.
Yeah, are they sending a message to him? Like,
Yes.
we're going to call this game differently?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. It's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
That the international style is complete. I'm completely fascinated.
No, it's going to be so much fun to watch.
It is. It's going to be awesome watching that Olympics. It's going to be amazing.
Cameroonian referee.
Well, it was interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a story in the BBC about LeBron. In fact, it was about Joel not playing for Cameroon. And they're bitter. Like, they're annoyed
I get it.
that he chose USA over Cameroon. And they're saying that the reason why he does that is that he doesn't want to have to go through that 4-game grueling just to qualify.
Yeah, I'm with that, though. The least
that's
amount
what
of game he plays, I'm good with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As a Sixer man, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But there's a point where it's like, we don't know if we want to go in and, have to try to qualify all on his shoulders.
I mean, I'll be honest. So as a Sixers fan, I'm with you. I do love this for Joel, and we talked about it yesterday. I just love him being around the best players in the league. But if I wasn't a Sixers fan, I would have called him out too for that, because I think that you need to have that country pride.
Spoken like a first-generation Colombian. No, believe me, I understand that. But it's interesting, if you watch the Euros, right, or watch any international competition, you see people from all over who aren't French or aren't
the
English.
whole French team is a bunch
right?
of
They're
players
from Africa.
Yeah, a bunch of players from Africa that migrated.
Like, if you're looking at it. But I do listen. If I was Cameroonian, I'd be pissed off too. I'd be like, "Yo, dude,
this is your player. This is your chance to get
right."
I get it.
And Joel's probably like, "Well, yeah, I grew up there, but
Does Pascal represent Cameroon? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
But if you're Embiid, you're going, well, listen, I
got to play with these guys.
I'm American now.
It's almost like
fellas, I love you guys. That's my roots, but I'm American.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like there's that one Seinfeld with the Bizarro and Lane's like looks at the two teams and she's like, I'm gonna go with these guys.
Right. You're like, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go here. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's what it has to be.
Hey, I was just popping on the Dodgers Reddit. They're complaining about, I guess you can push feet all like spikes off the bag now.
Wow.
But you got to give the Dodgers a little props. This is their IL rotation. Glasnow, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Kershaw, and Buehler. Those 5 pitchers are all on the IL. That's wild.
Well, Yamamoto going on the IL really hurt. I mean, Glasnow is the best, right?
Yeah.
So they miss him, and Glasnow's terrific.
Yeah.
And Buehler is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're good. Now Kershaw, I don't know. I mean, at this point of his career, he's on the down. He's on the downside.
He's always stuck in the playoffs. So
it's unbelievable how there was a game. I might have been watching with you and the bro. It was like a playoff game, and I just remember them being down 8. I remember being shocked. Like they were down. He got tattooed for 8 runs and like 2 2/3, and they were hitting rockets off him.
I don't know what it is.
I
don't remember that game. No.
I think you were. You were there with. I know the bro. I think the bro and I watched
my
the game.
memory's shot.
There's just some elite athletes just get unlucky in the play. Remember Peyton all those years until he won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, he had Brady in front of
I
him
know.
too. I mean, he had
some great matchups.
He had Brady and cheating Bill. But it's true. But remember, they changed the rules of how the Patriots D-backs would hang all over the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like it was brilliant. Like not for nothing, but the brilliance of Belichick was he knew how to kind of push the rules and exploit them in his favor.
Yep. Better than anyone ever.
I mean, the dude even went as far as PSI for the football.
It's like he had a team of attorneys just finding loopholes in the penalties and regulations.
Yes. I mean, that's the one thing.
Genius.
You know,
it was so.
I mean, when you think about
He's found a life loophole. He's got this 24-year-old girlfriend. He just finds the loopholes.
You're taking selfies yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's
I mean, and like it's not against the rules. He pushes it to the max.
Yeah. That's pretty much what he's always done, man.
Well, he's brilliant.
Shout out to Stubbsy last night. Only starter without a hit.
Dude.
Let's go to the brain. Brain.
Brad the Brain Feinberg.
Brain! Nobody's there. There you go.
Good. You see me, buddy? How are you?
Hey, buddy. Here he is. The Brain, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Brain, how about those fighting Phillies, Brain?
Look, again, it's amazing. They keep playing incredible. But I got to tell you, Anthony, what you just said about the Dodgers, about that list. VG said about who's on the
IL
disabled list. That's unbelievable. But I will say, Glasnow has not missed a start yet.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty impressive. I got to ask you a question though. What does the violations for VG? What violations? Because I was asking Carson yesterday, he didn't know what violations for the VG. Like what are the violations?
When I first would call in the Ant's show, I would call in with violations. I think the one we really bonded over was maybe 15 years ago. I went to a Flyers game and was just so irritated by the Kate Smith stuff. We were so over at that point. But yeah, then I would just
you've
take
been doing it
pictures and
forever.
send them pictures of violations all over the place. Like a violation is your son, our great intern Versace, leaving the game with 2 outs last night in the 9th inning. That's a violation.
Brain.
Look, man, I'm going to be honest.
Do that.
Well, listen, I'm going to, like, I'm throwing myself at the mercy of the court. I did it too. Because let me tell you why. And I just want to defend myself. No. I'm going to lose. No. I'm going to lose. I admit I'm going to lose. But, like, here's why I'm asking for leniency. I am telling you, I've had times when I've stayed to the last out where I've been stuck in that parking lot for hours. No. I'm talking hours, not minutes, I'm talking like
No.
2 to 3 hour delay.
You're not alone.
So
You're not
I
alone.
mean,
No,
I'm not. I'm. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I admit. I admit it.
It's safe down there. Like I park like 4 blocks from the stadium. I have an easy in, easy out. You can walk a couple.
Well,
blocks,
that's probably what I should do. Is probably actually what you said. Just as long as I get myself.
But you can't use that as an excuse because
you're right. I admit
you
it.
can't put yourself over 42,000 people. 42,000 people are in the same boat. If you choose to go to a game, especially a game of that magnitude, especially the score of that game, you cannot leave. I don't leave in a play.
I never leave in like a playoff game. I've never listen. You're right. But again, if a playoff game, I would never in a zillion years leave. I just look. It's my fault. Again, as I said, I plead guilty.
Yeah, no excuses. I mean, just plead guilty.
No excuses. I plead guilty. I take my ticket. I move. Yeah, I sentence. I move on. Yeah, you're right.
There you go. Brad, you drive into Center City, right around Broad and Walnut, park the car, take the subway down, take the subway back. You're out. You're probably out on the bridge quicker than if you're in that parking lot down there.
I think I need to be called VB because I just committed a violation. So I own it. You know, I mean, that is a violation, and I
love it, Brad.
So VG's reason why his violations, Greg, is that he was also my sentinel. Like he was in charge of scoping out violations across the city.
Oh,
so
I like it.
He would never commit the violation. He was.
He found them.
He was like
he was like a detective. He was like, okay.
That's it. Then he commits a violation.
That's it.
Yeah. Has he ever committed? Wait, Greg, have you ever committed a violation?
Oh, of course. I just committed one this week at some point. I forget what it was.
It was the blue hat.
I wore a blue hat on Dodgers.
Dodger blue. You can't go Dodger blue in the day of the game.
Yeah. Did you see? It's funny. They yesterday at the Phillies game because I was there, and they the guy asked the girl to marry him. She was wearing a Dodgers jersey.
I did see that yesterday.
I'm like, man.
Serious? Yeah, they did the proposal on the jumbotron.
And she's wearing a Dodger.
Yeah, I was like, you can't do that.
No, that's horrible.
That's what I said. But I didn't know what they're going to do. I mean, I wouldn't have asked her to marry me just because of that.
No, that's strong on your part.
It got a pretty good. It was a mixed review of applause. And
I'm
pretty happy about them.
Yeah, but you can't. Again, she's like in your face with it.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
No, you can't do that at all.
And I'm going to ask you a quick question. Did you see Jaylen Brown? He seemed like he was pretty pissed about Derek White making the Olympic team over him. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get where he's coming from, even though I like Derek White as a player.
I like that because you're thinking about your Sixers bet. And you're going, ooh, maybe some discord going on.
No controversy, man. Yeah, I got to stir the pot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I saw that. I was chuckling. Anytime there's disharmonious moves among Celtics, I'm happy.
Here's a Bet Parks question for you.
Yes, sir.
Will you bet on the USA or on the basketball on the tournament, the Olympic tournament?
Yeah, I'll check out what the lines are. I'll certainly check them out. Look, I do think this is a extremely talented USA team. I think there've been, Anthony, some teams that you just kind of knew weren't that good, or comparatively to other years. I actually think this team has a chance to be a very good team. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I actually think this team actually has a chance to actually be pretty good. At least I would hope so.
I guess I kind of I messed up the question. Or will you bet on these games? Like, will you handicap it? Because it'd be
hard.
interesting because of the rosters of the NBA across the world. Like, there's certain teams like you probably won't be able to handicap. You might be able to get an edge.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. And look, there's certainly, and I'm going to follow again. I'm going to watch the games and see how the teams gel. Look, as I said, see how they gel. That's exactly right. How they gel, because a lot of this really is that where some of these teams may have been playing together for months or even years potentially. And then look, I understand USA's just throwing together a team, so to speak. Maybe it works just because of the talent, but then again, maybe it doesn't. And it's like, okay, it's not going to work because they just don't have like that quote unquote teamwork that some of these other countries may have.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right. What do you got? What do you got today?
Well, listen, Anthony, today we have Boston, Tanner Houck, their best starter. It's been great. Mid-2 ERA, low whip, been terrific all year. Going against Luis Medina, career A over 5. Again, when I'm going to lay a run and a half in a game, I told you I have to have two things. I have to feel very comfortable that my team can hold the opponent's team to 2 runs or less. Check. Oakland, one of the worst lineups in the sport, probably the worst, going against an elite starting pitcher. And then Medina, a very below-average starter in Fenway Park. I think Boston should score 6+ runs. You only have to lay $1.10 on the Park site right now. Again, always willing to do like a run and a half again if it's a low juice in that situation. That's my first bet of the day. And next, Jordan Hicks, San Francisco Giants, under 16.5 hits. The data on this is just too good for me to pass up. He's a converted reliever. Jordan Hicks was a reliever his entire career, basically. This year, they moved him into the starting role. They don't let this guy go past 5 innings. They made his over-under in Parks right now, 16.5 outs, Anthony. His last 12 games, he's gone under. Again, I don't need to overthink it. I don't need to rely on it. And I like under 16.5 outs for Jordan Hicks. Again, it's won 12 in a row. And this is just not a guy who really throws many pitches. I mean, they take him out after 5 innings because they don't want him going through like potentially the third time in the lineup. They just never allow him to do that. By the way, my son, and I don't agree with him. He likes the Phillies in the 5-inning line. He's like, Dad, give out Phillies 5-inning line. Can't do it. Laying $1.50, I think it's too high of a number. But we'll see if he can have one over his old man come tomorrow, but I think that price was a little bit too high. We'll see how
They're
it plays
laying
out.
150, huh? Well,
laying 155 inning line. I thought it should have been closer to minus $1.35. I say what's 15 cents.
Landon Knack's not bad.
He's not bad, exactly. He's not bad. And then he wanted Paul Skeens under in strikeouts, but I can't fade my man Paul Skeens either. I think he's too freaking good.
Wow.
No, Brad doesn't like. Whoa.
I know. Paul Skeens is so good.
Is Junior Brad is an under guy too.
No one roots against human achievement. No one roots against human achievement more than him against it. So he makes me look like nothing with that. He likes nothing more like rooting against golfers missing putts. Like he celebrates.
You know what's interesting is that what you and I have a similar disposition of like you root for like you love the achievement in sports and the whole thing. Great. My kid, Massimo's like this a little bit too, where he'll go, yeah, he stinks, I'm going, what do you mean he stinks? Don't say that. Exactly. Like, exactly. Are you kidding me? He's in the league. He's in the league. Or, criticize guys. I'm like, dude, you're 11. You can't criticize
youth, buddy. That's youth. That's what youth is. Again, like, listen, I've heard it.
When I was 11, I was like, oh my God, he's like, I had the wide-eyed optimism. Yeah. They're all haters, these kids.
It's different. I'll be this way. Carson's last name should be the reliever for the Houston Astros, Josh Hader, because he listen, it's the same thing with these young kids. It's a different world than when me and you grew up, Anthony. You're right. I used to just idolize these athletes.
Yeah, and these were our superheroes.
I think it's like the social media aspect and the me. I don't know what it is. Yeah, they were the superheroes. Different world now.
Versace,
yeah, man.
No good.
I'm with you, man. No good again. But listen. You want someone who's rooting against human achievement? That's your intern for you. Because he will do that with the best of them.
That's the best. At Brad'sBestBets.com. At Brad's Best Bets on X. We love you, buddy. Thanks,
all right, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good, guys.
He is, the brain checking in the daily grinds brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Coming up in just a moment, Kate Scott. Yeah, we love Kate. Woo! So we're looking forward to talking to Kate. Sixers, a lot of fun. So it's going to be a good basketball half hour with Kate and Kyle from Vegas. So we'll do that coming up. But, we're talking about the Bet Park Sportsbook app. Hey, do yourself a favor and get to Parks Casino. The app is great, but the casino is even better. How about some after-work get-togethers, right? Date night. You got the girls' night out, guys' night out. Sip on tantalizing drinks. Soak up those warmer weather vibes right now at Parks Casino. This is how you win. Listen, $5 happy hour. It's the epic $5 happy hour. Great food and drink every Wednesday through Sunday at the Liberty Bell Gastropub. Enjoy $5 drafts of Ford Stout, Victory Seasonal, Parks Pills. Enjoy $5 glasses of Albertoni Cabernet. Enjoy the drink of summer, $5 Twisted Tea, frozen whiskey, Arnold Palmer's. How about this? These bites Feast, $5 small plates, braised short rib sliders, hot honey chicken sliders, rotisserie chicken flatbreads, the all-new Parks Casino Epic $5 happy hour happening right now. Get up to Parks Casino in Ben Salem for all the stuff. The number one casino in Pennsylvania, 3,200 state-of-the-art slots, 115 live table games, beautiful poker room, incredible sports book, and a collection of incredible award-winning restaurants. Joe Conklin's Comedy Night, the best cover bands every weekend at the 360 Lounge, headliners every week at the 1,500-seat Excite Center at Parks Casino. Tiffany Haddish will be there September 27th. JB Smoove will be there in the fall. Tickets for all shows, parkscasino.com. Visit parkscasino.com. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks Casino, this is how you win.
Love it, cuz. All right, guys. Listen, real quick. I know talking about finances for a lot of people, especially with their families, is very, very difficult, and I sympathize with that. That's why we want to talk about our friends over at TrueMark Financial and talk to you guys a little bit about that credit union difference. And real quick, let's talk about budgeting for kids and sports activities. Because with TrueMark Financial's money management tool in their online banking and mobile app, managing family finances includes budgeting for kids' sports leagues. You can create a separate budget category for sports expenses, and you can track costs effectively. Involve kids in budget discussions that teach financial responsibility, and I can't tell you enough how important that is, especially at a young age for a lot of children. Going on a group trip for away games like myself, guys, it's still easy to keep track of your spending with the mobile banking app. It's super easy. All you got to do is download the app. It's free. If you have the Apple, go to the App Store. If you have Google, go to the Play Store, download it. And of course, with the credit union difference, you can see all of your finances on this app. It's amazing. And the best part about it, guys, we've all been there, right? You happen to be at the ballpark. You thought you lost your debit or credit card. Now you're freaking out. You have a little heart attack going on. But now with this app here, you can lock your card. It's so easy. It makes everything so much better. So that's what they have for you at TrueMark Financial. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. And if you guys want some more information, all you got to do is go to TrueMark.com/PHLY. Again, that's TrueMark.com/PHLY, or you can head to one of the 24 branches that are here in the Philadelphia area. So I'm sure one of their fine employees will be able to help you out with some further questions. So guys, get your credit union career started here today and make finances easier for you as well with TrueMark Financial.
All right, buddy. Thank you. And this portion of the program is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Just like JP said, go to TrueMark.com/PHLY. You can stop in your local branch to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. All right, I love her. Our next guest. She is terrific. What a great ad to add great broadcasting. She is awesome. The voice of the Sixers, Kate Scott. Kate, good morning.
Guys, I have missed you. Congrats. I know you've been doing this for a while now, but this is my first time coming on with you guys. So it's great to see you. What a time to be a Philly sports fan.
Oh, this is the best, Kate. We love it, man. Are you kidding me? Between the Phillies and Dodgers, have you made it down to Citizens Bank yet this summer?
Was at the game last night, double dating with my guy, Ala Abdel-Nabi. And you guys know, I grew up hating the freaking Dodgers out in California.
Sure.
I might have had some words with the Dodgers fan a couple of rows behind us. We were having fun throughout the game. And when Strahm struck out or got out of the jam, I forget what inning, I might have had a few pops last night during the game. We started talking smack in the fourth inning. And when that happened, you guys know, as a sports fan, you can just feel the moment where the game is turning. We got out of that inning. I just turned around and looked at him, and I gave him one of these. And everybody was, and I was like, beat LA, sit down, shut up. It's still 4-2, beat LA. So yeah, locked into the Phils and obviously locked into my Sixers, but it's just a fun time right now in South Philly.
How about the atmosphere, right? Like one of the things that, you've been involved in sports your entire life, and to see the atmosphere, whether it's when that building, that arena is just rocking, right? Yep. Or last night and Citizens Bank Park, it's special. It's not like that. And as a baseball fan, that that's not normal throughout MLB in the summer.
Especially when it's 8 billion degrees, right? Like Ollie and I were comparing our butt sweat circles on our seats because it was so freaking hot last night, right? That was like Sunday afternoon day game weather. It's 90 degrees at 9 p.m. You could go down the shore. There's like a billion other things, but there was 42,000 plus people there saying beat LA. And I love that Topper talked about it after the game because I think that gets more normal, right? When you're getting close to like September, October, but this is the summer, the June swoon, just into early July, where everybody's on vacation. Nobody's really thinking about baseball. Everybody was locked in every pitch last night. No, this is a special place. And I've been to enough other places and covered all the sports there is. This is a special town. And what's going on right now at the bank and hopefully at the center this fall, something special right now, Cuz.
Yeah, it really is. And let's talk about with this team and the offseason that Daryl Morey had. And look, this was going to be the year where he can have a blank slate of the roster.
Yeah.
And if you look at that five between, Tyrese, Joel, you had Paul George, you had Caleb Martin, right? You got Kelly Oubre. I mean, that's a strong five. Where's your head at now with this squad?
I mean, you bring back Andre Drummond. Let's not forget that. I mean, I know and I completely understand that the fan base was none too happy coming into the offseason, right? You thought things were going great. Joe goes down, somehow squeak your way into the playoffs, get knocked out in the first round. Like it was a tough season last year. And it's great to talk about, okay, we're being patient, but fans I know have been patient for so many years, so many decades now. They don't want to hear that anymore.
I know.
But for Daryl and the front office, and I get that, and Daryl gets that, everybody understands that. But for them to say, this is what we're going to do, and then actually go out and do it. They get the biggest fish in Paul George. They get Andre. The fact that Joe called Andre, like some of the things we've heard that have gone on behind the scenes are why I'm even more excited, because that speaks to Joe's leadership, which has been growing over the past few years, and I think is really important to this formula. Kelly Oubre saying, this is where I fell in love with basketball, and this is going to be his 10th season. Like we all saw what an important piece he was. But I don't think we can overstate not just getting Caleb Martin, who I can see Caleb being
kind of. I love that move. I love the Caleb Martin move. Yeah.
Getting him away from the Heat, right? Yeah. Like it's not just we got this good 3-and-D dude. We took him away from a team that is forever a thorn in our side at every point of the season. I can kind of see him being our Derek White. And obviously something was going down because the Heat offered him something. It didn't work out. So I think there's some feelings there. So I don't think that they could have done better. And I don't think they're done because are they bringing back Kyle, campaign? What's that point guard going to look like? There's obviously going to be a few more deals to be done. But all of a sudden, everybody's talking about, I want to go play in Philly, which I think is the biggest thing you can have as any organization in any sport.
Well, and the other aspect, the other part of the job that I think Morey's done really well is he's also got some ammunition for the deadline. Like, you know better than anybody with a long season, and it's all about the playoffs. So at that point, you could sit and look and go, all right, what do we need? What do we need to add? And they'll have some ammunition to go at it for the playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, I think we see that in every sport, every year. Like it's very important to do what they have done now in the off season. But as Sixers fans seem to be far too familiar with, because stuff happens in December and January, and then you're like, oh crap, okay, now we got to reset. I think the moves they made last year, getting Buddy Hield was great. It just didn't work out because Joe wasn't back soon enough. They didn't have time to find that rhythm. But I think also being prepared, whether it's with picks, whether it's with salaries, are they bringing KJ Martin back? Could that be one of those chips? So important because this is a great start to the season. But as we know, anything can happen and usually does when you're a Philly sports fan throughout the course of the season. So it's always important to have those extra few things to be ready to roll the dice again come February in the NBA.
But it's funny because we're into this conversation and I've kind of purposely left purposely buried the lead, and that's Paul George. I mean, to get a player of that ilk, right? I mean, and he really is he's a great fit. And at 32, he's in his prime. The fit with Maxey and Embiid, and he doesn't have to shoulder all the load, and he's unafraid to shoot. Listen, I love Tobias. He's a terrific guy. But, like, you can't have a guy that just shrinks offensively. You need someone. You saw it between Maxey and Embiid. They were desperately needed somebody else to step up. And now you have somebody in Paul George who could also facilitate. He can play the 2-3. It's a great fit with those two.
He can play defense. I mean, he went to 3 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals as a member of the Pacers. He went to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago with the Clippers. This is the stat that stood out to me last year because he played the most games, first of all. He was the healthiest that he's been. And I love the fact that he's talking about, I'm talking to the old dudes, the old heads like LeBron and company. How do I stay healthy for just a couple more years? So I'm not that deep into the analytics because I think sometimes they're hard to bring to a broadcast. They usually need a graphic and stuff. But true shooting percentage is just if you averaged a player's 2s and 3s and free throws together, that's their true shooting percentage. Clutch time in the NBA is final 5 minutes when the game is within 5 points. Those are considered clutch points. Paul George shot almost 72% true shooting in clutch moments last year. That is the dude you need when you're like, okay, we're up against it at Madison Square Garden. Joe's in foul trouble. Tyrese is being double and triple teamed. Oh, by the way, we have Paul freaking George, who's been there and done that, given the basketball and get out of the way. And also to me, and probably you guys, this speaks even more to you because you've been here longer than me, but the fact that PG was wearing an Allen Iverson t-shirt and waited an extra couple of hours, like he wanted to come here. And we all know he had plenty of options and places that he could have probably pushed his way to if he didn't. And everything he said since he signed, like the perfect fit. The fact that he's excited to play with Kelly, who I know a lot of folks were like, I don't know, they've gone at it as opponents over the years, but now he's excited to be teammates. He understands the pressure. And like Joe and so many other guys on this roster now, like Daryl, like people in the front office, the only thing that they need to add to their legacy is that chip. Yeah. And they know that winning it here would mean so much more than it would in the majority of NBA cities, because that is how special Philadelphia is. So yeah, let's stay healthy, boys. Give us a couple of good years and see where this goes.
I mean, I was in grade school when they won, right? The last time they won. I
was born because one of the things I dropped in my interview when I auditioned 3 years ago, I was like, you guys, the last time the NBA finals were decided in May was 1983. Since then, it's been June. I was like, guess who was born in May 1983? I don't know what that means, but I'm hoping that it means something
good. Luck. I love it. I love it. You're good luck. Hey, I got to ask you, and then I know my colleague VG wants to talk to you too, but I got to ask you, you're involved with the Madden game, which I think is awesome. Tell us the story about that.
Oh man, that's been wild. Talk about keeping a secret for 2 years. But yeah, just like the Sixers job, I auditioned for it a couple years ago. Anybody who plays Madden, which I'm sure is a lot of the viewers and listeners today, they've had Brandon and Charles broadcasting for 5 or 6 or 7 editions because it takes so many hours to just build the foundation for having stuff in the game. And then you don't want new announcers every year because that's just too much freaking work. Anyway, it'd been a while. They wanted new announcers and they were looking for fresh, fun, new. They weren't looking to hire a chick. They told me that straight off the bat. They're like, we don't know, but we've heard you're energetic. We've heard you could be perfect for a video game, that you sometimes will throw shade at players while you're broadcasting. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So auditioned. And they liked what they heard. I auditioned with a couple of different analysts, and Brock Heward, who is not on the West Coast, but awesome dude. He's one of the lead college football voices, but he was a lefty, played in the NFL, backed up Peyton Manning, yada, yada. And we got the gig. We've been recording since December of 2022. There's like a little phone booth size studio in my basement that EA flew up here and built. And I have another 3-hour session this afternoon. It has been awesome and wild and crazy because my job is to call what I see. The who, the what, the when. When we're recording, I just have a script. And my producer and the script writer, and we're like, okay, all right. So this is, let's see, Jalen Hurts, a little wheel route to Saquon Barkley, second quarter, week 2. what is that going to sound like? Because I'm not actually calling it. I just have the script.
Right.
Versus, okay, it's the NFC Championship. We're at the link. It's rocking. It's the fourth quarter. This play is going to decide who goes to the Super Bowl. Like, what is that going to sound like? So it's been tedious and difficult and challenging, but I know that it has made me a better broadcaster because there's such an intense focus on tone, pacing, pitch, all of that stuff that you don't have to be hot and high and screaming throughout the entirety of a call. You can hit the touchdown and then come down. So it's been great. I'm hoping to do it for a number of more years if they'll have me. And there might be some fun Philly lines. I got a Tyrese Maxey into our recording session on Monday.
Oh, that's great.
Might have gotten to grease those poles, baby. The Lombardi's coming back to Broad Street. So they let me know.
Awesome. You gotta do me a solid. Give me a play the song. You gotta squeeze that one in.
I'll get that in this afternoon.
VG, go ahead. I know you want to ask Kate something.
Oh, yeah. Kate, I'm a little nervous. Big fan. I wore a collared shirt today. I never wear a collared shirt here. This is a big deal.
That. What's going on? You're too dressed up for me, man.
I'm sweating. So I just want to know, what's it like for you to wake up every morning? All the sports you've done, you wake up every morning knowing you are the best basketball play-by-play person in the country.
Well, first of all, where do I send the check, bro? Because 3 people, my parents included, who think that. But thank you for saying that. To change that, what is it like to wake up knowing that I get to call Sixers games and get paid for it? Know that I got some bourbon for the birds up here, and then I'm going to be doing Madden this afternoon. It's freaking wild, man, because all of this is never in my wildest dreams sort of stuff. Like, probably you guys grew up thinking that this is something you could do. I didn't even know that calling games was something I could do until after I graduated from college. And a guy I worked for during college got a high school football package and was like, hey, Kate, you should come call these games. And I was like, Paul, like, I've never called anything. I'm going to suck. He's like, yeah, but all the dudes I'm asking, they're going to suck too because they've never called anything. So why don't you come try? So when people ask, like, is this a dream come true? Is Madden a dream come true? No, it's more than that, because I never in a million years thought that a chick would be able to do any of this. So it's crazy. It's amazing. And to get to do it in this city, and I'm not just blowing smoke, like there is something different about Philly. And I knew that I was going to have to earn it. And I know that I'm still earning it. And I take that responsibility seriously because I love earning things. I feel like it means that much more. But it is so special to be a very small part of the fabric of Philly sports fandom now. And I hope that I get to chat with you guys again for a number of years to come. It doesn't get better.
Without a doubt. So you have, VG's right, because one of the things that you have is, besides being ridiculously lovable, right? Like, you just have a wonderful personality, but you know the game. You appreciate the sport. I always think that one of the things, the aspects that the audience loves and craves from your broadcasters is that you have to love the sport as much as they do. And like, appreciate it. Like, enjoy that you're there and that you're the conduit. And I think it's a gift. I've always wanted to write like that, or wanted to project that if you're there and you do that, it's what makes the games fun, enjoyable, and you paint a wonderful picture.
Well, thank you for saying that. Let me know where I need to send your money now.
Listen, I don't need to do that.
Thank you for saying that, but that's one of the reasons I love you too, because you wear your heart on your sleeve. And like, sports, as important as they are to all of us, it's the candy shop of life, right?
Yes.
There's so much crazy stuff going on right now in the real world, but you and I get paid to talk sports. And that's one of the many reasons I love Allah. Like, our first round matchup this year, it didn't go the way we wanted, but getting to call Sixers-Knicks games in South Philly at Madison Square Garden, like, I'm sitting at midcourt, I'm looking to my left, it's Mike Breen and Doris Burke and Kenny Albert and Walt Clyde Frazier, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm getting paid to be here, and I look up, and those people probably paid 10 G's to be here for this one game, and I'm going to be back here 2 days from now. So I do try to project that within reason, right? Still
Yes.
coming back to calling things. But I love, I know there was another podcast that shan't be named that was talking about, Philly has the most biased, broadcast in the NBA. And I'm like, you guys, we're the regional Sixers broadcast. What do you think our bosses have asked us to be? Who are the main people watching our broadcast?
Right.
It's Sixers fans. So if I was calling this game for NBC National or ESPN or whatever,
You have a different tone.
I would have a different tone. But I'm calling this for Sixers fans. So I'm going to lean into it because there's no place like this place on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you should do. That's what it's called for. If people don't understand, I do a show on the weekends for Fox, and it's a national show, and that I approach differently than I would doing something local. It's just how it's always about tone.
I mean, Dallas still sucks, and we're still saying beat LA when we do national things.
That's right.
But we say it with a little more empathy and care in our voice. That's all.
Amen. We love you. You are awesome, Kate. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on. Hope to be back again soon. Go Sixers. Go Phils.
I love it. There it is. Kate Scott. She's terrific. She's a lot of fun, isn't she? Man. She's a lot of fun. And the Madden story is awesome.
Yeah. Who knew it was that much work?
Yeah. It's because think about it, right? Like everything, it's not just in a loop that you're playing. The old days, Madden, like he would just make some grunts and sounds, and that's what it would be. But now, like they call it, it's sunny day. Like it's every detail of the game, which is really interesting.
Cool, man.
All right, I'm so excited because what a fun time in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Summertime between what the Sixers did and what's going on with the Olympics in Paris. And joining us, he's my main man. I got him up early. I'm like, dude, I need to hear you. He is the great Kyle Neubeck. Kyle, how's Vegas, buddy?
Well, it looks like I'm coming in fuzzy on this hotel Wi-Fi, but other than that, still, it's hot. It's hot right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's hot over here too.
You look a little red there, Kyle.
Yeah. It's a different heat down there. It's like walking into a convection oven.
Oh, God.
Like because it's so dry and it's just searing. It's 115 degrees?
Yeah, I think the high today might be like 117 or something like that. I said to my family, I was talking to them about it, that it's like you walk outside and it's like getting punched in the face the second you open the door. But I will say, I actually am a believer in the whole dry heat thing.
Yes.
I haven't dealt with East Coast humidity my whole
90,
life.
Well, like the dry heat's good. Like when it's 90 degrees and it's a dry heat, all right. But like when it's 115 or 117, I did Summer League a few years back, and I remember I had like an afternoon that was free. I'm like, it was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'll go sit by the pool. I mean, you can't. Like you can't sit by the pool and get any sun. And I'm a sun guy, and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to melt.
Well, I was talking to a fellow media member last night before the game and mentioned to them that, I had walked over to the arena from where we're staying on the Strip, and they looked at me like I had three heads and said, if I'm moving 3 blocks in this heat, I'm taking a cab. So, everybody deals with the heat differently. Us Philly guys, we deal with it okay, I guess. But people are not pleased about it.
So, all right, so let's get to it because we didn't talk after the Paul George signing. Let's get your reaction to what the roster looks like, and having PG in here as that third piece.
I think it looks great. Like, look, I know that there are a lot of justified concerns about paying Paul George deep into his 30s the kind of money that he's getting. But I said to you on this show, I've said to you privately when we've talked about this stuff, I think being able to just use your cap space, right? Like not having to unload 4 and 5 and 6 first round picks for Paul George sets you up so that now you have this really good big 3, maybe the best top 3 guys of any roster in the league. And you're still able to, like, let's say the Caleb Martin signing doesn't work out. Let's say Kelly Oubre has a bad year, whatever it might be. You can then take those guys and say, hey, we're turning them into somebody else or multiple somebody else's with all these picks they still have to move. And I think from a starting point, they're in a great spot, right? Kelly Oubre last year, I think, showed a lot, showed some personal and professional growth as a player, like dispelled some notions about his career. Caleb Martin, he bought into that whole Heat culture thing.
I like
He's
that.
a dirty
I thought that
work
was
guy,
sneaky.
and
I
frankly,
like
he's a
Caleb
guy
Martin.
that has,
Yeah.
yeah, he was a guy that got better in the games that counted over the last 2 years, right? And the Sixers have not had enough of those guys that have risen to the moment in the playoffs. So you like that. I've liked what I've seen from McCain, who they took, and I know we discussed him previously a little bit, but he's been a little better than maybe I expected. Showed some actual point guard skills in the summer league, so we'll see if he has some more flexibility. I think they have done a really good job so far. Now we'll see. Maybe they get like, I still don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Lowry. Seems like that one's up in the air, but there is interest in bringing him back. It's just fighting off the Phoenix Suns for him. So curious to see what happens there. But yeah, I think they got tougher. They got better high end talent. I think they have improved quite a bit. And I think there was a ton of skepticism that this whole thing was going to work out from, Daryl Morey's cap space flexibility plan. So far, looking pretty dang good.
You mentioned Lowry. Is Payne also possibility for the backup one?
Yeah, I mean, is he going to go by his alter ego that he gave to the police when he got in trouble recently? Like, maybe that's a way to get him on a different type of contract. Yeah, I don't have a feel for what his market is. So I don't know if maybe he's holding out hope for more than a minimum. So I think if I had to guess, the priority order would be Lowry over him at the organizational level.
Yeah.
And I do think there's, unlike last year where they had some room for maybe some smaller guards, with McCain on the roster, I don't think they're going to load up on the smaller guys. And I didn't bring up Andre Drummond either. Obviously,
I love
Drummond
that pick.
is a guy that they wanted at the deadline. They thought they had a deal done with Chicago, and Chicago backed out the last minute. So again, that was more almost an accident that they got him for just using their cap space. But they were trying to move, multiple second round picks, some other stuff to get him. Now you just get him for cold hard American cash, Anthony. So that's a guy that we know can play some serious minutes as a backup if and when Joel Embiid gets hurt and misses some time.
Well, and not only that, we saw it in the playoffs. Like, you need somebody. You need to give him a break. You can't play him the entire second half. Like, you have to get quality minutes out of a backup five. That's what excites me about Drummond, is less regular season and more in the playoffs. I got credit. I can now rest Joe with credible minutes. I didn't have those credible minutes before.
And here's the other thing too. I think there are some justifiable concerns about, will this team rebound? How are they?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
set up in
four.
terms of the. Once Drummond's on the floor, you're not worrying about that. I mean, that guy's probably the best rebounder in the entire league. And the other thing I would give him credit for is that he has really figured out, like, I'm just going to own this backup role over the last several years, right? Because he was, when he came here, someone that I think had, the higher expectation of himself, certainly had been a big money guy, all of that in Detroit, and didn't work out a couple other places, but he has really found his niche. He embraced it here first, went to Chicago, was really good behind Nicky Vooch out there. And so he seems like he's excited to be back, and I think he's going to help out a good bit.
Are they going to be in the market for another backup four?
I would imagine so. I think at this point, Anthony, it's really just about, who are the best available players that they can get on those minimum deals, because they are out of cap space and the extra mechanisms to bring people in. All things being equal, I think you'd love to have more size, more athleticism, help out with, again, the rebounding, I think, is a thing. But overall, I think they're very pleased with how things ended up. And I think some of the logic is like if you're to sit here and say, well, they don't have a real 4, they're playing a bunch of wings. That's sort of how the league has gone,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a
Yeah.
lot more 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" switchable guys.
Definitely.
And if you have Kelly and Caleb and PG, and those guys can just freely switch across those matchups, the hope would be that you're good enough defensively, stopping that initial penetration, stopping people from getting toward the rim, that Joel, so long as he's healthy, so long as he's in shape, etc., that he can do a lot more of that rebounding work and be in better position to do so. But that will require, some commitment from him. That I would say the one thing that I constantly am on him for, and I've said this to him myself, is go get those rebounds. I know you're big, and I know you'll get a lot of them just standing there. With a little bit more effort and early activity, that guy could be a 15 to 16 rebound a game.
Well, he actually should be, right? I mean, let's be real. Like, he's got that. He's such a force down there. He should be grabbing 15, 16 boards a game. How's the kid look? I like that kid Bone. He's got good size. He's a good athlete. I'm just curious about what he could develop at some point. Not this year, but you get my point.
Yeah, look, so, I mean, you have to be reasonable about, he still has all those young, big flaws, right? Where he's jumping at every potential shot attempt. He's going to get in some foul trouble. We've all seen that movie play out before. I just love how hard he plays. Like, he loves to defend, really locks in on defense. But you've already seen it in Summer League. The second that the possession changes hands, he's tearing down the floor, like sprinting to get to the other rim. And so he's got some limitations in terms of his skill set offensively. But if he just beats his man down the floor, if you're on a fast break with, Tyrese Maxey or Paul George, all they got to do is throw you a lob and he can go up and finish that. So the other thing that's been encouraging from Summer League, free throw shooting was a concern for him in college. He had a game I believe it was on Tuesday. My days of the week here in Vegas, I'm not too solid on. But he had a game where he was 6 of 6 from the free throw line, including he made a pair of them in the final minute of the game in a close game. So if he can make free throws, that's a big bonus compared to where he was at in college.
This portion, Kyle Neubeck joins us, all PHLY Sixers, who's terrific. Devon, Derek. Rite Aid sponsors this portion of the program. RiteAid.com for all of your scripts, your allergy needs, you name it. Let's talk Team USA for a second. What's that whole thing like? This is so exciting. Like, I love the Olympics. I have to be honest with you. And the fact that they're all there. Give me a little snapshot of Team USA.
Well, Anthony, I don't know if you heard our story yesterday that we shared on our show, but we literally got stopped by the Secret Service trying to get into practice earlier this week because the Vice President of the United States decided to stop by. Last night, I was at the game, and you're navigating the tunnels, you're shaking some hands, talking to some people from around the league, and once again, I get stopped by, hey, you can't cross over here right now. There's someone coming in, and Obama is just like, coming through with the big security detail. So, and then there's, a lot of basketball luminaries. They had basically like every available guy from previous Olympic basketball teams was there last night. I mean, between Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, like all these people just there to kind of come out and support. So that's really cool. Just as somebody who loves the game, has watched a ton of these guys.
Oh my God.
Guys,
names.
I either grew up as a little kid watching or as I got older were the guys that I'm like watching as I try to make this jump from being a fan to covering the league. So that was really cool. But I will tell you the flip side of that is, boy, what a zoo it is for the media. It is just, people coming left and right, talking in several different languages, holding these big cameras, just fighting for real estate. So I can't even imagine what the Olympics are going to be like on that front in Paris. I'm sure it'll be an even bigger thing. We'll see. But it's a very cool experience. And look, we don't have to mince words here. Joel was not good in his debut last night. Really
well, that was my
struggled
next
with,
question, which
his,
is the 5 fouls in 12 minutes. Like the idea of the international game, and that's what sending a message like, listen, we call it differently here.
Yeah, so I think he had the expectation and had been told, look, they let you play physical there, and that's part of FIBA basketball. Well, maybe he needs to find the line between physical and throwing a forearm at somebody, right? And I think, to me, and a lot of people in the stream today and who will listen later have seen this version of Joel before, right? I think it's pretty clear that he hasn't played much basketball in a while. He's going to have to round himself into form and into, Olympic level shape. But that's the benefit of him being here, right? We've seen him. He's normally a slow starter. That beginning of training camp, preseason, regular season, it takes a little bit for him to get going. But once he does, he's one of the best basketball players on the planet. So I know there will be some concerns from outside of Philadelphia, like, hey, is he the best fit for how this team wants to play? Bunch of offensive guys who don't necessarily need him to be that hub in the middle of the floor. But I think it's good for him he's got to challenge himself to be at a high level in the summer, and the hope would be you carry that over into the Sixers season.
How do you look at that squad and compare it now with the world catching up?
It's great. Kawhi leaving puts a little bit of a dent in it, right?
Yeah.
But Derek White's a really good role player. You always need one or two of those guys.
You need those guys. Basketball is a game where you can't add 5 stars. You can't. There's no way.
Yeah, and I think they have enough of those guys. Like the Bam Adebayo, for example, he's really good. I respect the heck out of Bam, but he's basically going to be in the dirty work. I'm setting screens. I'm defending. I'm doing all the utility stuff on defense. It looks like we're going to see a lot of him play next to Anthony Davis, which Devon has been rooting for the triple center lineup between Bam, AD, and Embiid at some point. We'll see if that ever comes to fruition against some of these bigger teams like France in the Olympics. But yeah, it's great to see LeBron and Steph Curry on the floor together, even with LeBron at 39 and Steph getting up there in years. I don't think this is one of the best teams ever, right? Like if you go back and look at the dream team
right.
in 2008, that 2008 team was loaded too. With,
sick. I was sick team.
Kobe and LeBron and Wade and Melo and Chris Paul at his peak and all these other guys. Like they don't compare to them, but it was very clear after they came in 4th place at that last FIBA World Cup, and they sent what I think was like the C team. These guys all got on the phone and were like, listen, man, we got to get USA basketball back to its peak. And I will say my impression of being around those guys just for a couple of days between warm-ups and practices and whatnot, it's a very serious approach and atmosphere from even these guys like LeBron who have accomplished so much. It means something to them to represent the country. So it's cool to see them coming back and saying, we're the number 1 basketball country on earth, and we need to show people that again.
Yeah, I love that. I love that flex. What's your schedule, buddy?
So the Sixers guys will be on it's 2:30 once again today. And then we are off on Friday. So I'm going to try to get Derek and Devon out to some fun activities here in Las Vegas tonight. Since we're enjoying an off morning tomorrow. And then, excuse me, we have shows Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, I believe, is at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure on the Saturday show. It's all based around, when they're playing, but we will keep you updated via Twitter, via social media, all that, and give you some updates from the ground here in Las Vegas.
Well, I love it. And then I can't wait. Then you're going to be going to Paris. So it's awesome, man. It's great stuff, brother. You guys are killing it. Very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Just, trying to do my part here, taking it day by day and trying to avoid that 115-degree heat as much as possible.
All right, listen, have some fun. Give the boys a hug from me, okay?
You got it. I'll see you back in Philly pretty soon.
Here he is, Kyle Neubeck, our all PHLY Sixers show live in Vegas.
At Vegas
for
Heat?
the Dream Team and, for the USA Basketball and the Summer League. It's good. It's great stuff. All right. Time now for VG's Nugs.
I got to say, when they're talking about Lowry, I think Lowry's important. They don't have a winner on this team at all.
Yeah.
They could use one guy with a little winning experience.
Well, I'm with you. And again, we know that he doesn't have much game left.
Yeah.
But at least from that perspective.
Yeah, old head leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that be good.
Just can't play a lot of minutes. We saw that last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hit us with some nugs, buddy.
Oh, well, Phillies won last night, if you didn't know. They are now 22-13 versus teams of 500 or better. Remember? September 29th.
September 29th?
That's great perspective.
This lineup.
Dude, I've seen that lineup a couple times, man.
Brutal.
All right, wait, hold on. Let me. This was 2015.
You got Altair in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Nick Williams?
Altair is there. No Nick Williams.
Okay.
No, Nick Williams. Oh, my God.
So the day they won it, September 29th is the day they won their 60th win.
With the lineup.
This is the lineup. Versace's favorite player in the world leads off. Freddie Galvis.
Oh, my God. He hates every player, but he likes Freddie Galvis.
And Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
It's very
horrible.
Number 2, Odubel Herrera.
Oh, my God.
Batting 3, Aaron Altair. Batting 4th, the cleanup, Darren Ruff.
Darren Ruff!
Dude, people love the Ruff.
Batting 5th, everyone's favorite, Cody Ashe.
Ew.
I don't even know this guy. Batting 6th, Darnell Sweeney.
Darnell Sweeney.
A cup of coffee.
Oh, my God.
Batting 7th, Cameron Rupp.
Cameron.
Batting 8th, another guy, Brian Boog. I don't know what to say this.
What? Let me see.
Bogusevich? Brian Bogusevich.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who? And batting 9th or 8th, David Buchanan. What a hump of trash.
I know, man.
Here's the upset. How'd that team win? Even in the game.
Who they play, VJ?
How did they win a game? Bogusevich.
What date was it? September?
September 29th,
right.
2015.
2015. That's great perspective.
Yep.
That's just great perspective that at this point, how in the world could you possibly
There's not a player in that lineup.
not enjoy what's going on after that?
Right.
They beat the Mets.
Hey, the Mets throw
What's
out
his
that
Mets
day.
lineup? Curtis Granderson, David Wright, Daniel Murphy, Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, they're players.
That's a solid lineup.
Yeah.
Lucas Duda, Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Conforto, Ruben Tejada, and then Bartolo Colon.
Oh, my God.
Man, Bartolo Colon.
That's wild.
crazy.
What a lineup. Oh, my God.
Hey, wasn't that the Mets
Hideous.
World Series year?
I don't know.
I think the bro was all about Altair.
Yeah, he talked about that. He was big.
Yeah,
on it.
He
He
was
was
an
an
Altair
Altair
guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Thought
like,
he'd be an
I should
all-star
like,
outfielder.
Like you can see, like we always were overrated, but that dude.
He
man.
always clings on to these weird fringe guys.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So there's batting teams. The batting average for teams. In 1998, 20 teams batted over 260. So 1998, 20 teams batted over 260. Today, how many teams do you think?
28.
Over 260 right now?
Yeah, as a team.
I'll say I can't even read that.
Yeah,
so
I know you can't read it, so I'm not worried about you.
I'll say 8.
So this is outdated because I got this yesterday. It said 2.
Really? Oh my God!
Today there is 3 because the Phillies are now batting .260 as a team.
Wow.
Yep.
There's only 3 teams hitting over 260.
The Astros, the Padres, and the Phillies. That is it.
Wow, that's wild.
It's depressing a little bit.
So let me ask you a question, because like I get the advanced metrics and those stats. You know, they tell a story, don't they? But I had this conversation. I forget who I was just talking to about it. I think it was Todd Zalecki yesterday about batting average. Like batting average still should matter a little more than it does.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with you. I have such
Why?
a hard time. I'm so aggravated at the ballpark. It's so hard to find the batting average on all the screens they have. They have it on one little screen out in left field. You can find it. Everywhere else, it's just on base percentage, slugging.
But why is it being devalued this much?
I don't know. I'm not of that world of those people who devalue it. So
It's
I don't
because
know.
that's how like front offices work now, right? Everything's advanced metrics, right? Like no one's looking at the basic stats anymore.
Well, you're right, you know, but it shouldn't be devalued this much. Like
I'm with you.
fact that you hit your home, that you get a hit, should matter.
Yeah.
Like I
mean,
get
to me,
on base and I get, you know, you walk and I understand it. I understand WAR. I get all that. I get OPS. I get it. But like batting averages still should matter. Like the fact that it's the basis of helping you win.
But to Vigi's
which
point,
is you're getting hits.
Yeah, but to Vigi's point about the board, like, do fans honestly care that much about that over the batting average? Why isn't the batting average more?
Listen, I think it's a baseball thing.
We're dinosaurs. I mean, I think the old people, that's our thing. The youngins
like
care about
Versace's-
all those other stats. I think.
Versace's age graph, did they like the advanced stuff on
Yeah,
more
sure, I guess.
accessible?
Like
I-
Outman came out to bat pinch hit last night for the
Outman.
Dodgers.
Yeah. Josh
And,
Outman.
yeah, and it's like, what? I want to know what this guy
Outman.
hits.
You are out there. Think about
That's
a
what
guy.
we were saying. We're
like-
like, you're out, man. You're
Like,
out, man.
like,
like
the
that.
greatest is like if there's a superhero that stinks in baseball, it's Outman. Outman.
Yo, speaking of like songs for baseball, we were talking last night. Hoffman comes in. His song's mediocre. They do a nice thing when the closer comes in with the lights
lights out,
flashing
yeah.
and stuff. His song's pretty mediocre. He's got the whole "Don't Hassle the Hoff." Should he lean into a little like Knight Rider music, like ding, 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 like they could have the lights up on the jumbotron?
I like that. I like that.
Knight Rider
Yeah, I
stuff.
like that.
Awesome.
Don't Hassle the Hoff could be popping up on the
I
screen.
like that.
That's my own beef. Obviously, I love this team, but I miss if we had a lot of Latinos. I used to get up and dance. I don't really do that anymore.
Why?
I get up and dance.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, besides Edmundo Sosa,
Alvarado's got a dance song, doesn't he?
yeah, but now I got to wait till. I'm talking about batting, though. I don't know the
Oh,
pitchers.
batting, yeah.
You know,
Gene
just get a
Segura
little-
used to have some good ones.
tempo,
Gonna be
bachata.
okay.
Hey, some things I want to get your opinion on. It was hot last night. Is it hot enough to take your shirt off at the game
No.
and celebrate?
No.
No.
Is it hot enough to? Oh, Versace says yes. All right,
Don't
Versace.
listen to
Well, what
Versace.
about if you got body hair like this guy?
Dude.
Oh man.
Now, this guy had no problems getting up and dancing last night during the game.
Now
But
you know
after
what?
a couple-
You know what kills him too, is the upper arm hair.
Yes, yes.
Like
'Cause
the
I
heavy-
grew my upper arm hair.
The upper arm
I'm gonna
hair
start doing that too.
makes you look more like a primate. I mean, seriously, right? Like when you got like, I have a buddy of mine, Salona, John Salona,
Yeah.
and he's got the hair where you're
grizzly
not
bear?
supposed to have hair, right? And we always say that he's another species, like he's not full human because of all the hair. Like and he's got the upper arm hair. Like the upper arm hair that's just nasty.
So, all right. So, where are you at? So, like, are you okay with men just shaving it all?
yeah, I don't care
waxing
what
it
you
all,
do. Like, yeah, or at least groom it.
Leave a little
It's a man
hamburger
sweater.
You know,
Man,
yeah,
fill
but
in
the
shirt.
too much, like back in the day, you remember those like
That was a
shows,
thing.
like and we grew up in that era where
Well, Tom Selleck was all
they
hairy.
were all
and
that
stuff.
the hair all over the like the
That
back.
was the thing.
Like when you have the fur, like that's a little. That's yeah, come on, bro.
Frankie Barber in the comments saying that dude we just showed, that counts as an undershirt, his hair.
Yeah, it's a built-in shirt, man.
Yes.
Keep you warm in the winter.
Yes.
All right, I want to get your take on this. We're not big on personalized jerseys. There's a guy with a unique Whit Merrifield jersey down there last night. The Whiz Whit.
I love the Whiz Whit.
Wait, that's good, dude.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Hysterical.
Yeah,
Whiz Whit.
I got to give him credit for the Whiz Whit.
Yeah.
Now, Whit Merrifield has to see this jersey now. We got to show this to him.
The Whiz Whit's great.
Yeah, I love
that's
that.
clever, man.
Yeah.
It was
I'm good with that.
That was good, man.
Kyle talked about Drummond and his rebounding prowess. So someone put up a tweet about, I didn't realize like how good he was. So he gets 20% of all possible offensive rebounds, which is first in basketball.
We need that.
20%?
21%.
We need
of
that.
all possible offensive. And it comes to defense.
Dude, that's a great stat. Like, that's a stat. I go, wow. Like, eye-opening.
Yeah,
it's like
best
one
best in
guy
the league.
that could get 21% of all the possible rebounds. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, while he's on the floor. And defensive possible, 37.4, and that puts him best in basketball. So he's really filling the rebounding need they've
No, that's
lacked.
huge, man. Like, we struggle so much. Every time we lose a playoff series, that's the one stat we always get killed in.
Last year, it was egregious. They got out rebounded. You get the we. They got the no.
Because it's
no
us.
we. Not we. You don't wear the uniform.
I have it on right now.
They don't wear that adjustable strap in the back. That's not.
I'm a dog
uniform.
dad now. I got to wear the dad hat. I got to adjust.
What is it with the dad hats?
But
That hat's a great hat, man.
I had 3 guys in front of me last night, all like probably late 60s, early 70s, all with those adjustable dad hats. The
Love
low
it.
profile, weird adjustable.
I
things
don't
in
like
it.
a fitted because it just looks weird on my head. But like a dad hat is a nice, comfortable hat.
It is
You got
comfy.
the dad hat adjustable strap there.
That's all I wear.
It's comfy. It's cheaper. It looks good. I don't look too sporty.
Fitteds can be a little,
I do love my fitteds.
he's a fitted hat.
No, I'm a snapback. I got a beanhead, so I have a hard time finding hats. So I do snapbacks.
I always thought you had the. Oh yeah.
you got the fitted on today.
Oh,
Snapback's
today's a
good.
fitted one? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. I usually have snapbacks.
Yeah, so I was
I
like,
usually have snapbacks.
Yeah.
because you seem to always had the fitted. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's hard for me to find it. I have an in-between head, so.
You do have a pinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total plan.
Dad hats, baby.
So where are we going now?
All right. Well, we needed rebounds.
Speaking of...
Like he was on the floor like
speaking
Rodman.
of dad hats, how about some dad sneakers? Embiid rocking his USA sneakers. Skechers. I am so out on these
I'm buying these,
Skechers.
cuz. I'm buying these. I was telling VG, like, I
Shoe game stinks.
I hate Skechers. I hate Reeboks. But you give me one of these, you give me the answers to the questions. I'm in.
No.
I'm in.
No,
That's got
dude,
me.
no.
Are they the
that's-
shape-ups? The Skechers shape-ups? Remember Joe Montana, those commercials, he used to wear those?
When I was 19, I was so excited because I bought my pair of the Barclays. I bought a pair of Barclays, but it was the Suns colors. But I was so excited for those. I love the Sixers signature sneaker.
You like that?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Skechers feel Bobo to me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not buying Skechers.
Skechers are Bobo. They're so Bobo.
The first comment under the Kicks USA tweet or whatever to put that out was like, trash can. And the second one was, no wonder his knees hurt.
They are Bobos. You know what the Bobo is?
Yeah, like fake stuff. Like
Yeah.
Like when you go to like ShopRite, you don't buy like Cheerios, you buy like Honey O's or whatever.
the Bobos.
O's.
Right. That's the Bobo
Bobo
brand.
O's.
Yeah, the Bobo. Bobo. It started with Bobo sneakers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were Bobo sneakers.
Wasn't there like a spot in Philly? There was like a street that had all Bobo stuff.
There were a lot of it. There was on Snyder Avenue, like on Broad Snyder, they would have the big tubs
I'm
of
trying
sneakers.
to think. You get
With the
Bobo
Bobo.
sneakers at Fava. Remember Fava shoes?
I do.
They would have
Yeah.
like one pair of Nikes and everything else would be these Bobo
Or the
brands.
Bobos.
The-
Like everybody,
what look like
and people, the kids would be like,
Yeah.
you wear the Bobos.
Now you just go to Walmart.
Like maybe Keds.
Keds was a pro Keds.
Yeah.
They were stone Bobos.
Yeah.
My cousin, I'll give you a great brand from back in the day. My cousin Joey was a pony man.
I do know
yeah,
Pony.
I had a couple ponies back
Ponies
in the
were
day.
cool.
Yeah.
I know Pony.
Ponies made boxing shoes.
Okay.
Yes. And they also
Remember-
did, there was a lot of baseball players who had pony cleats back in the day, too.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pony was cool.
There you go.
All right, more Bobo stuff for you.
All right.
I know you don't like pineapple on your pizza,
No.
but there's a whole thing going on right now. There's pineapple Pepsi
Ew.
It's
so
limited
gross.
edition only at Little Caesars.
You know what?
But the kids are going crazy
I would
for
do
it.
it,
There's
'cause
a whole
I
demand.
like
They had to bring
pineapple.
it back from last year because it was so popular.
Sometimes when I would
I
help
can see where that's good.
So my dad owns a couple properties in North Philly. So sometimes I'd go with him in the summer to come help out, learn a little bit of the trade, and we would go to the corner store, the Poppy store. And I'd get the pineapple soda. And I would enjoy it.
Yeah, but this is a Pepsi Cola flavor.
I know, but so like I mean, but it's like the same kind of.
Because I would do the Frank's pineapple back in the day.
That's so gross.
No, but it's nowadays. The Wawa probably would have it, no, because they have all those different flavors.
No, this is
Little
exclusive
Caesars.
only to Little Caesars Pizza.
So the Bobo Pizza place has the Bobo soda.
But I would believe that, like, if you think about flavors that would go together,
I would
like
agree.
cherry Coke goes together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, that's
You
good.
know,
I would agree.
Yeah.
well, why wouldn't if lemon, there's lemon soda, like lemon Coke, why wouldn't pineapple Coke go well?
Versace, you live near Little Caesar? Can you get us some lemon Pepsi for tomorrow? Or a pineapple Pepsi for tomorrow?
Another reason why the cherry Coke works is because
Don't, please.
the Coke is a supreme cola. The Pepsi is a weak cola.
I agree.
Pepsi's
Yeah,
very
Pepsi's-
weak.
I agree.
So, you know,
I agree with you. I mean, I don't like Pepsi.
Yeah.
I'm a Coke man.
Pepsi
yeah.
stinks.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, if you're going to go with a soda, Olipop is great. Like they have all the great flavors. But if you're going to go with the traditional Coke v Pepsi, you got to go Coke greater than Pepsi.
Spot on.
Olipop actually has a really good cola.
Yeah, I love
It's
that.
like
cola.
really good.
Do they have I wonder if they would have a pineapple flavored.
They should.
Like pineapple flavored sounds.
I
Especially in
love
the
pineapple
summertime.
everything.
I like a
usually.
pineapple. I love the fresh pineapple.
Pineapple water ice?
Whoa, VG.
Not a
You
fan.
holding secrets from
So
us?
no, I'm not a fan. I only get
Here
one
we
kind
go.
of water
Hold on,
ice
let me think.
Oh.
It's got to be either
Cherry.
lemon, or chocolate.
and lemon.
Yeah.
I only get lemon water.
I only do
I
mango.
don't do any other flavor. I refuse to do any other flavor. I love water
I
ice,
refuse.
and I only
lemon's strong.
eat lemon.
So if you go to Pops and they're out of lemon, you don't get nothing.
I don't get anything.
All right, see you later.
First of all, they're never out of lemon.
It's a
But
popular.
they're never out of
You
lemon.
know who's equally wacko? The Pagan. She has one flavor, chocolate. I'll walk her to
Chocolate's
Rita's.
solid.
No chocolate. She's done. She'll get an ice cream.
Yeah,
The mango's good.
Yeah,
I do the mango
that's my
gelati.
flavor.
I don't get mango. I don't even
Yeah,
understand the mango.
gelati, so
The
good.
mango, everybody loves the
Custom.
mango. The mango is a food. That's a bogus fruit.
Dude, what's your beef with mango?
I
You know,
hate
when,
the
we go,
mango.
when we go to Colombia, I'll teach you how to eat a mango.
I don't want a mango.
Fresh from the vine, cuz.
Dude, mangoes
there's
are great.
there's so much superior fruit.
I disagree.
Like I'm a lemon man, so I
Lemon's
go.
great,
I'm
but
always
mango-
a lemon
All
guy.
right. I'm a pineapple number one. I like a good tangerine.
Well, why?
Clementine.
If you're gonna go tangerine, might as well go orange.
Nah,
Superior.
tangerine's a little
A true
sweeter,
orange is better than a
Easier to
tangerine.
peel, a little sweeter. Yeah, clementine.
You like the clementine? My wife loves it.
Do you know pineapple is the only fruit that's actively trying to hurt you as you eat it?
Really?
So when you eat it, if you ever notice like a little tingle in your mouth,
Yeah.
it's because there's tiny microscopic needles that are inside pineapple. And when you eat it, that's that tingle. That's that
actually
feeling.
makes
I gotta tell you, it's I
love that tingle.
fresh pineapple.
Yeah.
It's a refreshing
It's
fruit.
just trying to kill you when you eat it.
Yeah.
So just know that.
When you're in Hawaii, you get they have stands just along the road with pineapples.
Oh, tremendous.
Yeah, you can throw a couple
Tremendous.
bucks in a box.
You know what's the other thing too, is just cousin of fruit. But like I am addicted to watermelon. Right, like
Oh,
addicted,
dude, yeah.
like to the point where,
absolutely.
like this summer, like over the last few summers, I can't have a cocktail without watermelon.
Really?
Yeah, like I make.
Do you do like a watermelon martini though?
I do a lemon watermelon cocktail.
All right.
That's yes, that I just love.
Cuz is drinking good over there.
Do you
Okay.
do you go seedless watermelon at this point, or do you get the?
Oh, strain. I go whatever watermelon I
No,
got.
but if you're going to eat some watermelon,
I love it. I eat it all
well,
the time.
you still eat the old school ones that had like the black seeds in it. You
Yeah,
gotta spit out.
whatever. I don't know. When my wife buys a watermelon, I
discriminate
just get
here.
Do
rid
you know
of
how
the seed.
you find a good ripe watermelon at the store? You go to the hole in the bottom, you flick it, and if it sounds hollow, then you know it's nice and juicy inside.
That's good watermelon knowledge.
Yeah. Just
That's
you
good.
know,
knows his
if
fruits.
you're picking
Yeah,
out a
watermelon
fruit,
knowledge.
if you're picking out a fruit, make sure to flick it.
That's good knowledge.
All right, I'm gonna stick on
But like that is in a like the pineapple. That would work.
We'll do a pineapple martini.
Yeah.
In. So in.
Joey Boyette and Mary Sweats. They're down in Georgia, this couple. They got a little bit of a tricky situation trying to drink a margarita a weird way at the Rodeo Mexican restaurant in Waycross, Georgia. So there's a couple of little thumbnails, but there's another picture coming, I think. He has a funnel, and he's trying to drink a margarita out of her back area.
No, VG, no. No. Why do people not think anymore? Like,
surprisingly, they got arrested. So don't try.
Really?
If you go to a Chili's around here, do not try to drink a margarita with a funnel
You get
out of your
arrested for
partner's back area.
Oh my God, what is wrong with people?
I don't know.
God forbid.
They weren't even taping it. It's not like they were like social media trick video thing.
They were just hammered.
I think they were just hammered doing this.
People are bizarre anymore.
Whatever happened to a regular shot?
Poor people have to work at these places and deal with the public like this.
Oh, my
like
God.
You're just trying to hustle some tables. You got
Did you
some
see
woman
what
with her
happened
pants
yesterday
down.
at
The
Philly?
Dollar Tree?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, talking about the end of the world.
They got that
Did you
guy.
see
too.
the
Yeah,
shirt?
thank God they got that guy.
Did you see
yeah,
the
I
shirt
saw
the guy
the
was
shirt.
wearing?
I saw it.
Like-
the guy was horrible.
What a horrible person.
I mean, just despicable. Like, this is just
Such a
hard.
weird
there's
world.
there's no civility.
Nobody thinks anymore, cuz.
It's crazy.
Randy giving the margarita couple some love. He's like, love is love. Let them live.
All right, but
do it at home.
Yeah, right.
Not at a
in your
Chili's.
own room. And whatever you want to do with a bunch of consensual adults in your own house, do it, but not in public.
You funnal whatever you want. You know?
yeah, really. Unbelievable.
That's all I
All
got.
right, that'll do it for today. On that note, all right, 6 o'clock Phillies tonight. Nola Knack.
Let's go.
Sweep.
Sweep. We feeling sweet?
Yeah,
I'll be
man.
there.
All right.
Hey.
I like it.
Ben Parks had him as a pretty heavy favorite. I think they're like minus 135 tonight.
That'd be big. Sweep Dodgers.
Yeah,
before the break.
that's a big,
Minus 148 tonight.
That's a big deal. I like
Roll
it.
with the big
I
one.
like
Let's
it.
go.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow for a Friday edition, and we'll talk all about it. Everybody have a wonderful day. Be safe. All right. We love you guys, and we'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.